Is it a herring?
Well, no, those are red.
Oh,
It's
you're right. You're right.
the best of
I
the
wish that wasn't
1960s.
so funny. I don't want to give you that credit, but that's very funny and very on point. Uh, it looks like a salmon.
It's a seal. And it's one of the most complicated team histories out there. In talking about A Jersey, we're going to talk about a lot of fun things. Okay, next on Ugly Thirds.
Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is the Oakland Seals rating Rarities.
We're gonna let it go.
Yeah,
you know what? If whatever they tuned in for,
This is the same thing at this point. Like at holidays, we say grace, right? But
she died 30 years ago.
No one can say it without laughing now. So when it's time to say it, we can't look at each other.
So what I'm hearing is we've done this to ourselves.
Yes.
Ah, very good.
Because now, anytime we look at each other, we just start laughing.
Classic.
Makes my dad very happy.
The blessing. So, class of 1967, doubled the league, added the Penguins, the Flyers, the Kings, Blues, North Stars, and the California Seals. 3 months
Replacing the California Golden Raisins as the official.
Look, they had 2 big hits. Phil's dancing. He's dancing. They were the California Seals, and this O was a C for the first 3 months, and then they became the Oakland Seals and closed the O. And this jersey lasts from 67 to 69. Then they switched to this, which is my Royal Retros, because it's the only way you can get it.
Yeah.
Then they became the California Golden Seals, bought by Charlie O'Finley, who owned the Oakland Athletics, and that's when you get the gold and the green and the white skates, which I have one of. We both have one of them, but mine's hanging from the wash.
Given the current state of the Oakland Athletics, I don't think sports were meant to be played in Oakland.
Yeah, it's rough.
Or the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, by Oakland Athletics, you didn't mean just the baseball team. You meant athletics in Oakland. And then
all of that.
O'Finley was so bad, the NHL bought it back, and they got this era trying to purge everything from that.
Seals and Teals?
Seals and Teals, which the Sharks threw back to this with their reverse retro. And then you don't know how relevant that actually is, because so they merged they moved to Cleveland, become the Cleveland Barons for 2 years, fizzled. No man calls me a fizzle. And then they merged with the Minnesota North Stars, and in 1991, the 90% sure it's the Gund family sold off their stake in the North Stars to get the San Jose Sharks. And so, technically speaking, there is a lineage from the Seals to the Sharks in the Bay Area.
Yep.
So, it's a fun walk in a ridiculous team and ridiculous team history with a bunch of some of the worst team, the worst, not the worst record, but like the most goals against, the fewest goals for, like everything that's awful. Chances are the Seals had a part of it.
Yep.
So, there's a book somewhere behind Phil about the Seals.
There's books back there.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, I just
just absolute absurdities. This is the. Should I talk about the type of the show first before I get into any of this, Phil? He nods yes. Okay. The rating rarities, the merry melodies that Phil can't pronounce. Thanks for that. That's a neat finger you have up there, Phil. The point of this show is we're looking at the rare jerseys that are hallmark of any collection, the things that people usually look for, giving more information on. I'm talking about them specifically, and because it's fun, we are ranking them using a 5-category system, 10 points each, which then our scores out of 50 will be averaged. Why don't we look at the categories first? Those categories are potent potables. Now, the appearance, how does it look? Noticeability, is it going to be, if you walk in that rink, are people going to recognize you? The blur, number kit, how good's the numbers you put on them? Rarity, can you find these things? And the value, when you find them, how much should you expect to pay for them? Now, this particular one is from the 1967 collection. Shrems is still holding on tight to that tag. Phil? In 2004, when the NHL was doing a lot of the vintage series, they put out the 1967 collection, and they had one for, I think, every team. I've seen about half of them, and they seem to be pretty haphazard which ones. I figured just like the next 6 would be, but no, there's a Blackhawks one.
Yeah.
That looks like every other Blackhawks jersey. Toronto would be the interesting one, and I haven't seen that one. So, but the fabric is very different. It's Doreen. You want to get in here, Phil? Like as close as you can to this fabric, particularly, preferably next to the crest, because I'll talk about that next. So the fabric is very different. It's much closer to what it was when the league wore that. It's very vertical. Yeah, I don't know what to call this. And then the crest is felt and a very thin felt. That it's something unique to it. And if you want to come back, I will also, or tilt down. The fight straps in these are of the era. So you have your panel. Zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit. Phil, we don't want to zoom out.
You're blocking it with your panel.
Okay, and the mic. And then it's just a loop of fabric. Oh god, this is hard. It's just a loop of fabric, type of loose twill. So that's the hallmarks of these, for the '67 collection.
We got to get into this, because I've already scratched things out. As
4 or 5 different times.
As you've spoken, like I'm putting this into different contexts.
We have looked at a number of jerseys before. You want to throw up that slide? You want to throw up, Phil?
I did in between the last one and this one. So, by the way, I'd call a plumber.
Excellent. So we've looked at a bunch of these, and Seals is definitely that's well easy to read. Storm Surge is up top, where it should be. We just did the Coyotes Desertscape, and I'm still angry at how high it ranked. But it's our rankings, like it's our fault.
All of this is our fault.
And the Oilers still at the bottom of this list, out of 50 for rare jerseys. So where is this one going to land? That's the point of this episode. Okay. So
start with appearance.
Well, so before we even get there, they have done other drops. Could you hold that, please?
Yes. There
have been other drops of this, 2 different ones. So this one's Phil's, this one's mine. Which is historically accurate? It's hard to tell. The pictures are all over. I think it's this one over time. I'm still very disappointed because this looks great, and I want to get it customized. But if it's wrong, I'm not going to pay extra to get it customized. Like it's very upsetting. What do they wear? Kelly Green or Forrest? I don't know. These were late 2000s they came out, whereas this is the early one and definitely the rare one we're going to be talking about. So we're going to keep it to this. Appearance. Look, there is nothing wrong with this. And at a college that wore green, I had players actually like, why don't we wear one of these? Like, because you can't find blanks of this. I think it's a 7. I think if you wear this, other than the logo being goofy, very 60s, very West Coast.
Mine was a 6. You stated in the last one, green stands out in a hockey community.
It looks and green and blue look good together.
Green, blue, yellow. I think they got it here.
It's a weird logo. Aside from the weird logo, and what is that? It looks good.
Yeah.
Noticeability. Again, other than the weird logo, I'm at a 5. Like I don't think anyone, a hockey fan, will notice this and go, "Oh, look at that," but no one else is.
That's why I'm at a 1, and the reason why, because you said in a few episodes ago, like 0 means it doesn't exist. No, they existed, but for such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Nobody today is clamoring about the times that the Oakland Seals, did this or did that.
You're right.
You're gonna walk down, maybe in a Sharks game. Nobody's gonna know this.
Maybe that's the one I wear when I go to a Sharks game.
You know what? I'd be curious to see if anybody stops you.
Yeah.
That is a true litmus test. You're not gonna get that anywhere else.
Mm-mm.
The only place I think you could wear this is a Game Worn Expo. Like we got some traction with people there.
Yeah.
The conversations we had were people who knew hockey.
Now people are gonna ask, is this game worn?
Of course.
And it's no. Well, and I guess if I don't have numbers on the back, it'll be more obvious that it's not.
But they're gonna know this team.
They're gonna know that team.
The 99% of fans today aren't gonna know this team.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good one to wear there.
Number kit.
So we have a slide on this. So, again, am I going to get my one that's probably wrong customized? No. And I get it to this. This is Bobby Bond, the guy who broke his ankle in the Stanley Cup final and then scored the game-winning goal for the Leafs. Finished his career in Oakland. Note the different shoulder numbers.
As one does.
It's one of the greatest stories in sports. Like the greatest comeback story as far as I'm concerned. Paul Correa, he's up there. But break your foot in those leather skates and score a game-winning Stanley Cup goal. Come on. So my 67 Penguins I sent off to EPS and they couldn't customize it to what I needed. So am I ever going to get this? And again, does that make it a 0? But either of these could be. So
based on what we see, though, like there's nothing great about it. There's nothing terrible about it. It's a number kit.
Yeah, it's a number, and other than the shoulder numbers being blue, the rarity. Here's the rub, because again, it's 67. There are ones on eBay.
Yeah,
but they are expensive. Or you're getting where there's a sweater one. There's the white one Phil's wearing. That's another one of those CCM drops. Phil, you want to show off your white one? I know you wore it for a reason. And show the stripe. Very different. Was this before Vancouver? That's okay, Phil. We'll just keep looking at you.
You might have to repeat that because it didn't pick up over here.
Oh, the mic?
Yeah, yours doesn't. When you switch it to me.
Well, I'm loud. So anyway, I was telling you, look at the stripes, and the white one's very different. Yeah. Yeah, the stripes are very different from the green. I mean, I wrote a 9. It's an 8. You can. They're there. I was able to send you a screenshot of like a half dozen of various varieties. This 67 one, you're not. That's the hard one to find. These are usually very expensive if they show up at all. I feel like this is the rarest of the 67, but I mean, there's ones I've never seen. So
yeah, of this series, this vintage series, like this is one that you're not gonna find a ton of, but in my cursory research a moment ago, there's an auction going right now where it's at 60.
Oh, really?
Buy it now for 150.
For this 67 one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did my pricing based on exactly what I saw 4 months ago.
There are ones on eBay right now for $350, and that's really where I'm at. I think it's an 8.
Yeah, based on what I saw,
I know there's a sweater on there right now for $99, but that's not the 67 collection, and
right.
I've seen enough of these going for $300. I got away with this one for $180.
That's a good price.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's a couple years ago now. And they run a little big. The double X is a little roomy on me right now. So,
but it's one of those things where
this is truly obscure.
Yes,
and that's almost part of why it's
obscure.
Fun. It is almost too
fun
obscure.
For us.
Yeah,
but it's unless you are in this community to collect and talk about the days of yore and these little one-offs once in a while, the casual fan is not going to eat this up.
You know, I'd be curious. Like, I wore my Pittsburgh Pirates NHL jersey to the Hall of Fame, and all the workers there asked me if I was coming from the Blue Jays game. This, I wonder if I wore this to the Hockey Hall of Fame, how many people would appreciate it. Like, if next time I go, that might be what I wear.
There's a fun fireside chat right there. What are you wearing to the hall?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna...
It shouldn't be a Lionel Conacher Pirates jersey, that's for sure. So.
A Jays jersey? I thought you said you...
This one. With best athlete of the Canadian athlete of the half century, Lionel Conacher, obviously.
Yeah, he played for. Was he in the lineup that day for the Pirates?
Yes.
Or
yes. He was at age 120. Phil.
Now, in this drop, Seals are the only team that don't exist anymore from that drop, are they?
No, because the North Star's there.
But at that point, the North Stars were a little bit more relevant in conversation.
The North Stars always are.
This seems like a stretch almost. Like when we throw back to something like this.
That's the 67 North Stars. This will be in an episode.
So I'm just saying, like in terms of rarity of line and finding like that, like why really hard to find is those are maybe the top 2 that are hard to find because those teams are not around anymore.
just not. Yeah, they're not around it, and there's not one. And that's just it. It's supply and demand, with so little demand for the seals and a low supply, like that inflates values in a weird way. Where are we at, Phil? I feel like this is where the Coyotes one should have been. It's below the pack. Yeah. Okay.
Shrem's really.
You dragged that down.
Yeah, I did.
23-33.
Yeah. Wow. That's probably our biggest gulf. So, I'm not upset by it. I feel like it doesn't, its rarity is bigger than that number, but its impact is not. The desirability isn't there. So, glad we're boring you. That's a large 149. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So you're getting that, right?
Any former Sabres on that team?
Yes. I looked into this. Yes, there are. All right. On that,
name them.
Research has got to go. He Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Ring the bell to get notifications when we post new videos. And come back for another episode of 2/3.
Sweater. That's totally different. That's you. I mean, they didn't wear wool on the ice for that era. I mean, come on. You're better than that.